This particular segment is on courting the black vote, and I normally would have kept this brief, but I just wanted to basically use this as an example of where we should be going versus where we are. Now, the Democratic candidates, Clinton and Sanders, have sat down with Black Lives Matter, if you really want to call it, and it's not a cohesive group. It's a group that is spread out. So they've met with some representatives of some chapters of Black Lives Matter, but the Republicans, that's basically a lost cause. And the Black Republican Denard Paris just doesn't do justice for his fellow Republicans, whether they be black or otherwise. But anyway, let me play the clip so that you can see for yourself, how this is playing out.
Folks, Democratic South Carolina primary February 27th. More than half of the Democrats there who vote in the primary there are African American. Well, here's the deal. We make a big deal out of that. Hell, it was 94% white folks in New Hampshire. So, okay, gotcha. And of course, so you got Senator Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, both, of course, trying to attract the black vote there in South Carolina. Yesterday, Clinton, she was in Harlem. She had sat down with civil rights leaders, a variety of folks there, Mark Morial, Melody Campbell, Al Sharpton, Wade Henderson, Ben Crump, Cornell Brooks. And then later in the day, she delivered a speech calling out race relations.
But I want to mention one more critical area, protecting that most fundamental of rights, the right to vote. Across our country, Republican governors and legislatures are erecting one barrier after another that make it harder for black people to vote. It's a blast from the Jim Crow past, and we need to call it for what it is.
Meanwhile, Sanders held a prayer breakfast in South Carolina. He then visited the University of South Carolina, where he was introduced by Erica Garner, the daughter of Eric Garner, who was choked to death by NYPD officer in 2014. Sanders ended his day in Atlanta at Morehouse College to kick off his tour of HBCUs.
We began this campaign 9 months ago, and when we began it, people said, well, Bernie, we like the way you comb your hair. You're kind of a sharp GQ kind of fellow, but you ain't gonna go anyplace because your ideas are too radical. Turns out that wasn't quite the case.
All right, let's get right to it with our panel. Of course, we have Avis, we have Yolanda, Paris, Amber. Look, here's the whole deal here. You've got both folks appealing to African Americans. But at the end of the day, it comes down to policy. To me, it doesn't come down to who your buddies with, how long, who your husband was, who you marched with in the civil rights movement. To me, all that stuff is irrelevant. The question is, what is your agenda for black folks?
This is a good thing for black Americans across the country. I think Democrats should, for a lot of times, have taken the vote for granted. I think they should both engage actively to get Jasmine Guy introduced Bernie Sanders before his debate. He has that HBCU tour. I think these are positive things. But I think on the flip side, as a Republican, I want, and I challenge my party and insiders and strategists all the time, you have to be equally as engaged to get the vote. If you want to appeal to the demographic, you've got to do things and show up like other people say, not just 2 weeks or 3 months or 6 months before the election. You have to do it on a consistent basis and have a real strategy and plans and process. And I think the conservative message and Republicans do. It's just having the right messenger who makes that a priority and does it.
Yeah, but the bottom line is they won't even talk to black media.
Right. Well,
hell, they're not going to sit down with black civil rights leaders or talk to black folks.
Because John Kasich said that with Black Enterprise magazine. So I mean, but like I said,
hold on, stop. You just mentioned one magazine. Paris. Paris.
They don't sit and talk to any black media.
Paris, when I say sit down talking to black media, I'm talking about more than one person.
I just gave you an example.
You gave me one magazine.
I gave you one recent example.
Okay, here's the deal. Do more than one interview.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
All of the candidates Democrats have been, I'm really grateful to my peers as we were participants in the Netroots action that really called out Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and anyone from the beginning. And I feel like we are now in a place where they're starting to really take notice. They have to sit down and rewrite some things and go over some things and hire new folks. And I'm very happy with Hillary Clinton's speech from yesterday. She did an awesome job, but I'm looking for more. I'm happy with Bernie Sanders really centering Erica Gardner, even though I think she should run for president. But that
was stupid. She's not obviously qualified to run for president, so that's anyway. I'm sorry.
Another conversation, but I think they're doing okay, and I'm looking forward to what's going to come next.
So, but here's the thing. First of all, has anybody talked to DeRay to find out what happened to that Black Lives Matter Democratic Forum? I've been emailing him and texting him. I ain't got a response back. I thought that was.
The mistake is that DeRay is not the only leader in Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter is working across the board. You have people like Charlene Carruthers and BYP 100, Black Youth Project, who are really holding these candidates accountable and doing work on the local level.
Here's the question:
because we have folks like John Edwards running too, and that's important.
But here's the question, though: is there going to be a black forum? And here's why. I'm not talking about that black and brown thing that happened in Iowa. I'm not talking about that joke of a debate that the Congressional Black Caucus Institute had in South Carolina, where you probably had a couple of questions that were talking to black people. What I'm saying is there has to be a forum where Sanders and Clinton both are on stage and talking specifically about a plethora of issues dealing with black people: education, housing, economics, criminal justice, not sort of the one-off question.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I don't know what the status of that is, but I certainly hope it's going to happen because it's needed. I was very impressed, as you mentioned, with Hillary's speech yesterday, because that's the first time that I heard any of these candidates lay out what I saw as a broad platform around multiple issues dealing specifically with the black community, and I want to hear more.
She wouldn't have done that without Bernie Sanders.
The point is she did it. Where's
Hillary Clinton has a problem. This is a generational divide. I mean, the millennials have only seen Barack Obama be president, and so they don't have this pie in the sky sense of the Clintons. What they see are the results of Clinton's policies. Yes. And those policies have led to, mass incarceration. They have led to a demonization of people who are on welfare, people who need assistance. So those are, you talk about policies. I see the older generation of civil rights leaders getting in line behind Clinton, but these are the same people who allowed these policies to go through.
My question is, okay, I'm trying to understand. So yesterday, Senator Bernie Sanders, when he met with Sharpton, well, that was a breakfast, and it was for his television show. Right. Okay, yesterday's meeting had all these civil rights leaders. All those same civil rights leaders should be sitting down with Senator Bernie Sanders. Every single one of them. All of those civil rights leaders should be sending a letter to every Republican candidate saying, you should be sitting down with us. My deal to those civil rights leaders: don't only sit down with Senator Hillary Clinton, do it with every single candidate, and then publicly come out and say which candidate chose not to sit down.
Well, I can say that the Black Women's Roundtable did do a survey of all of the candidates, Republicans and Democrats. They only received responses from Ben Carson and a little bit from Jeb Bush, just literally yes and no answers.
But again, I need them to publicize that. I need them.
It's on
not on the web. I need them to be pushing that more, because again, this is part of the problem when you have Republican candidates who do not want to engage black folks. And if you can't even respond to a survey, you sure as hell not going to sit down and talk to black folks.
So that's a winning strategy. Look at Donald Trump is leading the polls right now, and not only is he not sitting down and talking to folks of color, black folks, he's actively using
when he did sit down with black pastors, when Donald Trump sat down and met with black pastors, then it was all kind of hype in the media. Oh,
this guy just stuck his foot in his mouth and his finger up his ass because he's getting ready to get served. When Donald Trump met with, quote unquote, those 100 black pastors that were supposed to endorse him, that was a bullshit publicity propaganda stunt that was debunked even before the meeting went off. And this fool, Paris Denard, I just don't understand. Everybody that I knew about this thing. How come he didn't know about this thing? He wasn't even following Roland Martin's show because Roland Martin exposed the whole damn thing. So he's going to get right now what he deserves.
We
No,
discredit
hold on. No, hold up. See, Paris, hold up. See, Paris, see, right there. You gonna come on here and make that mistake again. No, did he sit down? Did Donald Trump sit down, meet with black pastors, and what the hell they talk about? Not a damn thing. Hold up, Paris. I sat here and talked to three of them.
Three out of how many?
Wait a minute. First of all, they claim there were 50. They claim. Hold up. No, Paris. I asked them the question. What did y'all talk about? Could not state a single specific policy they talked about. You don't want to believe me? Go to the Facebook page. It's all up right there. We've got 2 million plus views. They ain't talking about a damn thing, Paris. When I say talk about, meeting the meat is a waste of my time. I'm saying, did housing come up? I asked the question. No. Did jobs come up? No. Did education come up? No. So what the hell they talk about?
What I'm saying is...
No. You defended the meeting. What did they talk about?
I didn't
See, and the interview he did with the black pastors, those were the ones. 2 out of the 3 were the ones that were supporting Trump, and Roland Martin questioned them on what was discussed in the meeting, and the Trump supporting pastors, which there were only 2 at that meeting, couldn't come up with a damn thing that was discussed. And Paris Dennard, God bless his heart, he got caught not knowing what the hell is going on.
the meeting. All I said was that
Do you know what they talk about?
I wasn't there.
Did you ask somebody?
I wasn't there.
Did you ask somebody?
I didn't.
Well, hell, I did.
I didn't ask anybody who met with the same pastors that met with Hillary Clinton. I didn't ask them what they talked about.
Guess what? I did. Hold up. And you know what they did? They periscoped it.
This is great. But
Hold up. The pastors, Jamal Brown, others who met with Rand Paul, they periscoped it. So you didn't have to actually talk about it. You could have been in the meeting yourself.
Did you just say Rand Paul met with black pastors?
Yes, I did.
Well, you failed to tell the viewers that.
No, I didn't. You know why? Hold on, Paris, don't come in with that, because guess what? Paris, I covered it.
What I'm talking about right now, Roland.
Don't tell. First of all, he didn't even. Did he drop out?
What I'm saying.
Is he a candidate right now?
He was a candidate.
Is he a candidate right now?
No, he's not.
So hell, mentioning him was a waste of time.
So, but not.
That's like saying mention Carla Fiorina. Hell, she ain't in a race. Paris, all I'm saying is this here: if you're gonna meet with black folks, I want you to talk about something, not sitting here just to meet to meet.
Mm-hmm. And all I'm saying is acknowledging the fact that they did reach out.
No, I want you to meet to meet. Don't meet to meet.
So what I'm
saying is, if I talk to 3 of the pastors and they talk, you had Bronner, Bloom, who came on this show, said something different to Sean Hannity. He said in 2 hours, there wasn't a single substantive thing that was discussed on the show. I mean, in the meeting. 2 hours. Pastor Parson, he still can't figure out what was talked about in that meeting. He's still fumbling right now.
I appreciate the fact that those pastors did take the time to meet with Donald
Right.
Trump, and I think that's a good thing.
Amber, your final comment in Yolanda.
I'm just glad that it's only February. We still have a couple of months to go, and now they have time to sit down and really have these conversations. But I don't believe that Donald Trump, no matter who he meets with, we just need to get him out the way. Like,
that's not gonna happen.
We need to move him.
No, that's fine. He can be right there, but here's the deal, Donald. He says he got the guts. Come on here.
I agree.
Come here and have a conversation. Have a conversation with somebody black who, first of all, who knows what the hell they're talking about. And
with some young black folks. With some young black folks. Because we're tired. There's a lot of
Amber, don't get cut now. Ain't like I'm old. So don't get Amber, don't Amber, you might want to like walk that one. I'm just saying, Yolanda.
I'm a double down on it.
Yeah, you can double down on it. Don't get cut. Okay, don't get cut. Yolanda.
They decided to go forward with the strategy of conceding the White House. Trump is going to be the nominee, and he's going to lose. But in the meantime, they have galvanized their base. They are in control of state houses. They are in control of the Senate, and nothing is getting done. So if they can't have it, they've decided they're going to destroy it.
I want specifics. I want specifics from Sanders, from Clinton, from the Republican candidates. I'm sick and tired of these sorry debate moderators not sitting here challenging folks and not sitting here asking for specifics as well, because I don't care about the pomp and circumstance. It comes down to what are you going to do to move this country forward. And so they keep running out saying they want the black vote, but I need to hear more stuff. And so that's what it boils down to. And so by keep pushing them that way, I think we end up being more informed, better informed, and actually it benefits African Americans.
The only reason why Hillary and Bernie are doing that is because there has been a consistent push going back to
Right.
Yes.
Frederick Douglass said, agitate, agitate, agitate.
Right. Need to
And
advocate
there's
this
too much at
administration
stake
as well.
There's too much at stake for them not to have these conversations. We're dying. Like this is a real issue, and I don't want us to wait for these deaths to keep coming up to have this conversation. Let's celebrate us while we're here. Let's have these conversations while we're here, and let's actually come up with some solutions together.
Okay, and then while we're doing that, Perry, you can try to figure out what the hell them pastors talking about with Trump.
Busted on the end. Yeah, I want specifics as well. I mean, yeah, we could talk about baggage that everybody has, of which Clinton has a ton of baggage, but specifics as to what they are going to do in order to enable the black community to lift itself up by its bootstraps. That means to give a hand up, not a hand out, as what the Republicans basically always want to say. Yeah, hell, a lot of people really don't want to hand out. They want to hand up. Most people, black, white, and in between, don't want handouts. They want to get a little help so that they can get to a point where they can do it for themselves, because no person, man or woman, takes pride in somebody helping them versus them being able to do things for themselves. Man goes out every day to work and comes home, he has pride. A man that goes out, can't find work, is downtrodden. A man that's sitting on his ass, collecting a check, there's nothing there. So anyway, that's just my opinion on the matter.